Hi, this is Michael, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a very inexpensive 6-string cigar box guitar. Oh, who am I kidding? I mean cheap. I was able to find these 2 electric guitars and an Ibanez amp on Craigslist for a really good price. Again, who am I kidding? They were cheap. So what I've done is I've taken them all apart. I took the strings off. This one's a PV. Of course, I checked the necks out. The necks is the most important thing I'm looking for, is a nice straight neck, flat neck, where it doesn't need any fret leveling or anything. These were really nice straight necks. Hardtail bridge has a humbucker pickup, volume tone on this one as well with a humbucker. Here I sanded the headstock off. It had some type of name on it I can't even remember, and I've done both sides. This was pretty scratched up on the end there, so I'm just going to refinish that face there. And I'm going to take these guitars, take them, all the guts out of the body, and just transfer all this, maybe minus the pickguard. I might not use that, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to transfer all this hardware and electronics into a cigar box guitar. If you like cigar box guitars, building cigar box guitars, or playing cigar box guitars, please hit the subscribe button at the bottom so you don't miss any of these videos on cigar box guitars. Now back to building that 6-string. I feel like I'm being watched. So let's get started. This is the box I chose for my 6-string cigar box guitar because it's kind of wide. It is about 8 inches by 11. So being that wide, I've got enough room for my bridge, my pickup, and my 2 knobs here, volume and tone. Now before I took this apart, I did measure the scale length, and it is 25.5 inches. So I'm going to lay my ruler right there, 25.5, and my bridge will go somewhere right there. Now I will have to cut, of course, the neck slot out there. Now I did want to have a little heel under here, but I don't have a piece of hardwood this wide. I'm usually making 3-string cigar box guitars out of 1x2s like this here. So what I'm going to do, I have some of these little pieces of oak that I've stripped off of other boards to make necks for 3 strings. So I had a big long piece of this. So I've cut 4 strips, and I'm going to laminate that together, which will be my heel that will go under my guitar neck there and go through the box. This is going to be the heel under my neck. These 4 pieces of oak here, I am going to laminate these and clamp them up. I did put some blocks of wood on the ends here and clamped them down so I could keep this nice and flat on top and bottom. I didn't put any protective pieces of wood here for the clamps, only because that piece of wood here is wider than my neck. So I'm going to have to plane this down on this side and this side anyway to get it to be the same thickness as my guitar neck. So I'm good. Let it dry. The piece I'm using for the heel under the guitar neck is now dry. I'm going to go ahead and take the clamps off of this thing. Okay, there's the piece that we laminated. Looks pretty good. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and mark how thick the neck is on this piece of wood here that I'm using for the heel. Okay, so I need to take off this much, about 1/8 of an inch on each side of this, so it'll be the same width as the neck, and then that will go into the box. Well, I got the rough cut of my heel right there. I did put a 45-degree angle on the end there. Now with a regular guitar neck like this one, you notice that on this end it's a little wider than it is on this end, so it slowly tapers down this way. And my heel's only going to catch this bottom part, but still it does taper slightly in. So what I did was I took this part, which is going to be connected to the neck, and I did taper it down just slightly on the belt sander. Now on the neck here, you'll see where it has a little contour right there. I am going to try to catch that with my little heel and just line it up like that and attach it. And this is not going to be a perfect match because you do have a maple neck and a oak heel there, but that's the good part. It's not supposed to match because it's homemade goodness, baby. Now this is about where this heel is going to fit on the neck. So I'm going to take the heel to the belt sander and just kind of round these edges off and kind of shape that a little bit so it looks a little nicer. Well, I think the heel came out pretty good. I've kind of got it rounded and shaped and sanded down nice and smooth. And it's going to go right there on the neck, just like that. Now, because I don't really have a lot of glue space, probably less than 4 inches right there of glue space from here to here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to countersink 2 screws right here. They will be inside the box. You won't be able to see it. The box is going to go about right here. And right here, I'm going to put a 1/2 inch dowel right there. I got my drill bit all marked right there. And I'll show you that when I get it done. Well, that's the heel attached to the neck with the 2 screws and the 1/2 inch dowel right in the middle. And I do have the dowel going into the neck about a 1/4 inch. I didn't want to drill out of the top of the fretboard, so I was kind of careful doing that. But that's all set to go. Now I'm going to notch out the box to fit the neck in. Well, I have the box marked with the center line, and I've got it marked out to cut the neck slot out. Now what I did was I measured from the bottom of the heel to the bottom of the fretboard, and that's the distance that I'm going to cut out here, so the fretboard will be on top of the box. So I'm going to do that, and I'll show you what I got when it's done. I have the neck slot cut out for my neck. I took the top off. It had these little hinges on the side with screws in it, which was nice, instead of those ones that are pressed on, so I could take the lid off to cut the neck slot out with my little rotary cutting tool. I'll show you what I've done inside the box here. Put some blocks on the bottom that the neck will sit on, and a little stopper here. That's where the neck's going to stop. And I'll show you what it looks like when I put the neck in. Let me show you what I did with the neck here. I did add a little stain to the heel. Kind of made it, tried to blend it in a little bit and put a clear coat on it. I also sanded off the back of the headstock. It had made in Korea or something over here. I sanded that off and finished that. And on this side, I actually sanded off where it said PV. I mean, we know it's a PV neck, but now it's got a barbed wire brand on it, so that's going to make it a Southern Fire guitar. And this is how it's going to fit into the box, just like that. Put the top on, it's kind of a tight fit right there. And that's what it's going to look like. Now I do have this taped off here. This is where my bridge is going to go. I have that marked. I'm going to put my pickup right here. I've got it marked with a center line right there. I am just going to eyeball this with my center of my little pickup ring there with the inlays here, and I'm going to use this little square here to keep it straight, And I'm going to put it about right there, and then I'm just going to mark it. Okay, that's where my pickup's going to go. Now I'm going to take my little rotary tool and I'm going to cut that out. Now I don't know if anybody can relate to this or not, but when I start building one of these things, my work table and workspace here is usually pretty clean and organized, and after a very short time it looks like this. How does that happen? Thanks for watching part 1 of how to build a 6-string cigar box guitar cheap. Make sure you don't miss part 2, where you see the conclusion of the build and I play it at the end and you get to see what it looks like. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe. I will leave a link in the description for part 2, and I'll also leave a link over there or over there. One of the two.